Today we're taking on a foundational idea that completely overturns the constant hustle and striving of the modern world. We're going back to ancient China, to the spring and autumn period, to meet a philosopher whose wisdom has shaped millennia, Laozi, the founder of Daoism. Our mission today is to dive into his seminal work, the Dao De Jing, and really distill its core paradox. For you, the listener, you're constantly told to be aggressive, ambitious, strong. So how do you find ultimate power not through struggle, but through yielding? And even non-action. It's a total inversion of how we operate, and we're going to try and figure out why he thought this was the only path to real stability.
Well, we've got some rich source material for this, covering the history, the legend, and the philosophy itself, and I think it's important to start with the name. Laozi is an honorary title. It means teacher Lao or old master.
So what was his real name?
His real name was Li Er. Sometimes you'll see Li Boyan or Lao Dan. And he was active just a little before, or maybe at the same time as Confucius, which puts him right in the middle of this incredibly chaotic period of societal breakdown.
Okay, so let's try to unpack this figure, Li Er. The known facts about his life are, well, they're pretty sparse, which is often the case.
It is.
But what we do know about his profession is extremely telling. He was born in the kingdom of Chu, but his job. That seems to be the key.
Exactly. What's crucial is that Laozi served as a historian. He was the chief curator of the state archive at the Zhou court.
So he wasn't just some mystic on a mountain.
Not at all. He didn't just dream this stuff up. He spent years, probably decades, immersed in administrative records, official histories, all the literary documents of his time. So his philosophy is a long-term critical response to historical patterns.
He saw it all firsthand.
He saw the rise and fall of power structures repeating themselves over and over again.
And because the facts are so limited, the legends are they're incredible. My favorite has to be the story that his mother carried him for 81 years.
81 years, yes.
And that he was born with white hair, which is how he gets the nickname Old Master. He was literally born old.
It's a powerful myth, isn't it? It suggests this wisdom was just inherent from birth. And even his personal name ties into the folklore. He was named Lig because he was supposedly born under a plum tree lei.
And
Means ear. The story goes he had unusually long ears, which was a traditional sign of wisdom. All these details are there to frame him as this ancient sage, someone whose perspective just transcended a normal lifetime.
So Laozi is at court. He's watching the Zhou dynasty just crumble around him. And he's feeling this profound disgust at the chaos and the corruption.
Yes, the endless striving for power.
So he decides to leave. And this is the moment he gives the world the Dao De Jing, right?
Precisely. As he's leaving the kingdom, heading off to, well, we assume a quiet retirement, an official at the border gate stops him.
And asks him to write something down.
Asks him to leave some record of his insights before he disappears into the mountains. And so Laozi apparently just quickly wrote down a manuscript of about 5,000 characters.
And that manuscript became the foundational text of all of Daoism.
The Dao De Jing.
Amazing. And just for context for you, scholars got a huge breakthrough on this in 1973. They found 2 early copies of the text written on fabric in a Han-era tomb.
At Mawangdui, yes. It was a huge discovery.
It really showed just how fast and how thoroughly those 5,000 characters shaped the thinking of the next few centuries. Okay, let's pivot now to the central concept of the philosophy itself, the Dao.
The Dao.
Originally, the character literally meant road or path. I think it's the symbol for head and to go.
Yeah.
But philosophically, it becomes, well, everything.
It's the universal law, the source of existence, the way things are meant to be. But this is where our language just starts to break down.
How so?
Because the very nature of the constant Dao is that it cannot be adequately expressed in words. Laozi warns us right at the start. The Dao that can be expressed in words is not the constant Dao.
So it has no physical properties?
None. No form, no sound, no appearance. It's unseen, unheard, and uncaught.
Okay, so if it's not a thing, and we can't describe it, what are we talking about? This sounds suspiciously like trying to define nothing.
We're talking about absolute emptiness, or non-being. But it's not the emptiness of, say, a broken jar. It's a metaphysical void, a state of absolute potential.
So it can never be overfilled?
Never. It's the capacity, the space, the energy from which all existence flows, even though it is itself fundamentally empty.
That makes more sense. It's the source, not the product. He calls it the root of heaven and earth.
And the mother of all things.
So how does this absolute emptiness actually generate the world?
He gives this beautiful sort of sequential account. He says, Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, two gives birth to three, and three gives birth to all beings.
Okay, that sounds like a magic recipe. Break that down for us.
We can, absolutely. The one is the primordial, undifferentiated chaos. Think of it as a single entity where dark and light principles, yin and yang, exist, but they haven't separated yet.
And the two?
The two is that moment of separation. The dark principle splits from the light principle, creating duality.
Which brings us to three.
The three is the crucial integrating factor. You have the dark principle, the light principle, and then the harmony that unites them. It's the moment of dynamic balance. From that harmony, from that constant interplay, all beings are born.
And that concept, that balance through quiet, unforced movement, that brings us right to the human application. Wu Wei.
Yes, Wu Wei, non-action.
Which is so often misunderstood.
It is. It doesn't mean sitting on the couch doing nothing. It means yielding, compliance, and most importantly, rejecting aggressive striving and futile struggle. Laozi was looking at the brutal political transition of his era.
And his philosophy was just a radical rejection of control.
Totally. He didn't just reject the chaos, he rejected the proposed solutions. He rejected governance based on rules of conduct.
And also governance based on law. Now, why would a historian, a man who knows what happens when society breaks down, reject the rule of law?
Because he believed that these systems of control are inherently corrosive. He saw that complex rules of conduct, like strict feudal codes, they just undermined genuine loyalty. They forced people into hollow performances.
And the laws.
As for management based on law, he issued a really clear warning. When laws and orders multiply, the number of thieves and robbers increases.
Wait, how does that work? More laws create more criminals. That's completely counterintuitive.
It is for us. But Laozi believed that laws don't curtail crime. They just define new ways to be a criminal. They actually incite transgression because they encourage people to find loopholes to game the system. Every new rule creates a new point of conflict.
So his ideal was a self-regulating society.
Driven by simplicity, not by force. He also protested against honoring the wise and aggressive wars. He basically concluded that the root of all this societal chaos wasn't just poor leadership, it was knowledge and desires themselves.
Which leads to that incredible statement. Governing a country with knowledge is misfortune for the country, and governing a country without the help of knowledge is happiness for the country.
It's a shocking statement, isn't it?
Especially coming from a man who curated history. How could he advocate for getting rid of knowledge?
Well, he's rejecting a specific kind of knowledge. The specialized, striving knowledge used to build armies, create complex financial systems, or manipulate people. He wanted a return to simple, intuitive wisdom.
The kind that aligns with the Tao.
Exactly. So the ruler must cultivate no desires, so the people naturally become simple-minded and content. By applying Wu Wei non-action, the ruler stops creating systems of control and everything just aligns naturally.
And this leads to his utopian vision, this small state with a sparse population. Can you describe that for us?
It's the ultimate quiet life, taken to a delightful extreme. In this state, people might have boats and carts, but they should never feel the need to use them to travel far. Weapons and armor should exist, but never be displayed. And to enforce simplicity, he suggests people should go back to using knotted cords instead of writing.
To eliminate the complexities that literacy brings. What about their neighbors?
Their neighboring states should be so close that they can hear the roosters and dogs calling across the border. But the people should be so content and free of ambition that they never in their entire lives feel the need to visit.
That is blissful isolation.
Yeah.
But you have to ask, is that really freedom, or is it a psychological prison built on contentment?
It's completely impractical, of course, but that's the point. It's a philosophical thought experiment. He's showing that the closer you get to non-action and non-desire, the closer you get to perfect governance.
It's a powerful critique. He's arguing that everything we celebrate today, striving, expansion, interaction, is fundamentally destabilizing. Okay, so this radical philosophy of Wu Wei, it seems impossible for governance. But he saw it as mirroring a much deeper universal physics.
He did. The law that governs everything, from states to saplings, is that reversal is the path of Tao, and weakness is the method of Tao's action.
Things constantly move toward their opposite.
Right. And if you are already at your strongest, you are already on the inevitable path to decline. This is his most profound warning against ambition.
The strong and the firm are servants of death.
And the soft and the weak are servants of life. Think about an old tree in a storm. The branch that's too strong and rigid, it snaps. The sapling, the blade of grass, the yielding branch, they all survive. If you are too strong, you perish prematurely.
So striving too hard for strength is just rushing your own end. That completely dismantles the Western heroic ideal. And the ultimate metaphor for this has to be water.
Water is the perfect servant of the Tao. The highest good is like water. It benefits all beings and it does not fight with them.
It always seeks the lowest point.
It's the softest, weakest substance, yet it can erode mountains, carve canyons. No one can defeat it. This demonstrates his core principle. The soft overcomes the hard, the weak overcomes the strong.
And this wasn't just abstract philosophy. It had real-world tactical applications.
Absolutely. The sources talk about military doctrine based on this. When you're facing a much stronger opponent, the best tactic was to embrace weakness strategically.
Not advancing an inch, but withdrawing a foot.
Precisely. That calculated retreat, that show of softness, was designed to provoke the opponent's arrogance, make them overextend and make mistakes, which would lead to their own defeat. It's strategic yielding.
So, if you're in a high-stakes negotiation, maybe the best path isn't to be the most aggressive, but to retreat and let the other side's arrogance work against them.
That's the idea. You gain strength by refusing to fight. And this idea of constant reversal also applies to our daily perceptions. We only know what beauty is because we know what ugliness is. Good only appears because we recognize evil.
They give birth to one another.
Yes, and this brings us to a crucial lesson. Oh, misfortune. It is the support of happiness. Oh, happiness, misfortune lurks within it. It means everything is temporary. Good fortune already contains the seeds of its opposite.
So if happiness isn't permanent, what's the trigger that makes it flip into misfortune?
It's arrogance, haughtiness. Laozi warned that if the rich and noble achieve success and then allow pride to creep in, they instantly invite misfortune. They violate the Tao by thinking their temporary strength is absolute.
Which is why he advises people to know their measure.
To know your limits, don't boast. That requires intense self-mastery. It's not just about governing the state, it's about governing the self.
Right, he said it's necessary to know people, but it's far harder and more important to know yourself.
You have to overcome your personal flaws. You have to defeat yourself, not just other people.
And that internal victory, that's the essential Taoist path. So what are the practical steps? He laid out his 3 treasures, right?
3 things he cherished above all else. They're the application of non-striving in daily life.
And what are they?
First is humaneness, or benevolence, simple kindness and compassion. Second is thrift, or frugality, not just saving money, but sufficiency, not desiring more than you need.
Rejecting the chase for rare objects. And the third?
And third, not daring to be ahead of others, humility, the refusal to seek the spotlight or claim leadership.
Kindness, simplicity, and humility is such a profound and complete rejection of the typical path to power. This whole deep dive shows that ultimate stability is found not in force, but in softness and acceptance of the path of Tao.
And that's the final thought I really want to leave with you, especially today, when the world demands you chase success so aggressively. Laozi teaches that weakness overcomes strength. So what is one area of your life, a professional goal, maybe a creative pursuit where applying Wu Wei might actually yield better results? If you stopped fighting for advantage, stopped trying to be first, and just allowed the path to unfold, what might you gain that is more stable, more enduring than anything achieved by force?
It's a radical call for peace in the very noisy world. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the wisdom of the old master Lao Tzu. We hope you feel far more equipped to navigate the path, or the Tao, ahead.
Join us and keep your curiosity well fed. Who knows? The next video might be exactly what you didn't know you needed.